So yeah, I just remember growing up, like everyone would just be like, man, give up on him. Like, he's gonna disappoint you, you know what I'm saying? Like he's, somebody that's just defiant, So like when my mom passed away, I just made a promise, like, I'm gonna prove her right, you know what I'm saying? So that's just something that I always kept, like, man, I'm gonna prove her right. My name is Nelson Burton. I'm from New Orleans East. I've been living in New Orleans my whole life. I went to St. Augustine High School in the 7th Ward. Grew up right across the street from Goretti Park. Then I moved over on Bullard, and we've been there ever since.
So tell me a little bit about the East while we're on the topic of the East, like just the transition of. Tell me a little bit about what the East was like when you were growing up versus the environment, the reputation it has now.
Honestly, I remember buying our house from, a Caucasian male, and my neighbor was Caucasian until, after Katrina, it was gentrified, and, we had a lot of more black neighbors move in the area. And, that's really what I remember. And now it's, everyone calls it dangerous and it's just a bad area to live in. But at first it was really safe.
Yeah, and I feel like it's a little bit, it's still safe, but it's just, everything kind of moved to the city, to the East. But by the East being so big, it's like we can still kind of live out here with a little security because there's so much space. But let's get into the high school. Tell me a little bit about that.
St. Augustine High School, I was known for being the class clown. I played basketball while I was at St. Aug. There was a lot of extracurricular activities I wanted to participate in, but I couldn't because I had a behavior problem. I wanted to be in FBLA. I wanted to play baseball. I didn't really want to play football. I played football, I got hit too hard one time, and I quit. So, yeah, basketball was it.
Yeah, I know football is the sport for the Aug, though. I went to the league out there. And you was in class with Fournette.
Leonard Fournette, yep.
Yeah, tell me about that. How was it like being classmates with?
Man, that's my brother, man. We grew up together. We played at Goretti Park. We've been on each other since we were 5 years old. It's we always gonna have a bond. Him and several other guys I've been knowing because of, park ball growing up in the city of New Orleans.
Tell me a little bit about the environment in St. Aug, just the how they handle y'all differently than how other schools will handle these students. You feel me? Because St. Aug do got a reputation for being a little bit more of the, prestigious, high ranking, doing more things with their like type black men.
Yeah, well, St. Aug just highlighted that, you were black first and a man second, and just how to carry yourself. As far as like, I went at my grandmother's funeral, I was the only guy there who knew how to tie a tie. So I literally tied about 12 people ties.
Damn.
Yeah, so like stuff like that, they taught me, just, and they used to have like luncheons once a year to teach you how to, sit down at a table and, what's the salad for, stuff like that. Always put your handkerchief on your, your leg.
That's great.
That's stuff great. Like that.
So how did you feel like that prepared you for who you became? You said you was a class clown during school, but I'm sure you kind of took some values that you learned from that and instilled it today.
Of course. Yeah, it just taught me how to just be a respectable young man and just to respect people and, not really step on other people's toes. And
I feel you though. So let's move forward into the business. Like, how did you become a businessman? Like, what was the turning point where you decided, okay, I'm Nelson, I want to go into this business thing instead of going, work for somebody or get a government job or something like that?
Well, it actually started when I was at Southern University in college, I was selling clothes. I had a clothing line, me and one of my close friends, we had a clothing line. We were selling clothes, selling t-shirts. And to be honest, I never really knew what an entrepreneur was, honestly. I always looked up to rappers, you know what I'm saying? Like, to be honest with you, Lil Wayne, Birdman, Rick Ross, I looked up to those guys. So never really knew what an entrepreneur was. And I had a breaking point in my life where just like everything was really hard for me. My mom was sick. I started selling cars, and one of my close friends, Marlon Watts, he told me to read the book Rich Dad Poor Dad. So I read that book, found out what an entrepreneur was, found out, you can own real estate, what an asset is, what a liability is. And then that just like created a mindset that just I still have to this day. Right. So like after, so then I would just test it on people at the car dealership. When I would try to sell them cars, I would like just see what they're into, if there was a business, owner or whatever. Yeah. Now I noticed like the business owners did business different than regular people who own job, who had a job or whatever. So I just started really looking up to people that own their own business. Then I started looking up, Bill Gates, Jeff Bezos. I never knew who these guys was. Promise you. Yeah. So
how did it transition into transportation? So what made you want to go the transportation route?
So my sister, she's a big part of it. She just seen that I needed help. I wanted to be an entrepreneur. I didn't know how, basically. So she went to a real estate meeting because our mom had just passed away. She went to a real estate meeting, and they had a guy there and told her to do medical transportation. So that's how we got into it. She called me and was like, hey, do you want to get into medical transportation? I'm like, yeah, that sounds cool. We can do that. So she actually bought the vehicle by herself. I was in Baton Rouge at the time. She was living at home in New Orleans. And she bought the vehicle by herself. She sent me pictures of it. Came home, it was this big vehicle in our driveway. You know what I'm saying? At first, it was just like one slab. Eventually, we cemented the other grass part to part 2 vehicles right there. But so that's how I started medical transportation. And my dad worked at the airport, so he told us, hey, I see people at the airport picking up tourists. You guys should think about getting into picking up tourists at the airport. So my sister, again, put us on 350 different websites, and we started getting good reviews. At first, we was underselling ourselves, but we were like getting really good reviews because we knew how to handle people. I worked at a hotel, so I was our first driver. Me and my dad, we was the only drivers. We was getting a lot of great reviews. And we was like, just learning from our mistakes. I was working all day. My sister would like take the bookings, and me and my dad would just get out there and run it. And he had a full-time job. Dang. So I really was like getting it in. I would pass up the club, my friends out at the club, 3 a.m. I would see him. I was just passing him. I'm in a bus, feeling like a bus driver. So yeah, that was like really something funny.
So how did it transition into you scaling it and turning it into the growing company that it is today?
I had to read more books because it was like in New Orleans, a lot of people don't tell you, and a lot of people don't know. They may not know how to do business, and so it's something that you have to learn. Like, so I was just reading a lot of books like the E-Myth, Profit First, Good to Great, just like different books. And that really like helped my mindset. And then you got to think, after you read these books, you have to apply it. You know what I'm saying? So I read these books, and then I'm like, all right, I got a lot of knowledge. Let's start making decisions. So, my sister, like, she let me take, the driving wheel, and like, she let me make decisions because, this is what I really love to do. So. Right. Yeah, but.
Man, that's fire, dog. I didn't even really think about how you scaled it up like that. So talk about more so strategies that you implement when it comes to like making sure that your customer stays happy, et cetera, et cetera. Like what do y'all focus at Burton that's different than any other transportation company?
Well, we mainly focus, it's our last name. So it's like like when a customer leave a bad review or something bad happen, I feel like they saying, you know, oh, the Burton family, that's how they do business. You know what I'm saying? It's like, no, that's not how we do business. We love y'all. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then like, yeah, it's just like, give people what they want. They on vacation, or if it's just like business travelers, whoever it is, we just want to, you know, make your trip the best trip. I want, you know, my company to be like the Chick-fil-A of transportation. Well, you know, get whatever you want, you know,
it's
whatever.
It's gonna be good.
It's gonna be fast. We're gonna be on time. We're gonna be reliable, but we're gonna give you whatever you want, like whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like I tell my drivers when, you know, we first hire them, you know, if they want to stop at the store, you know, just stop at the store. It's not that big of a deal, you know. Yeah,
definitely. Oh, that's fire. So, from the perspective of, you know, future endeavors, what does Burton Transit have planned for the future?
Well, we're trying to build a prototype company here in New Orleans, where we're from. But we definitely have our eyes on some more cities, and we're already doing business in other cities. We have affiliates in over 500 cities, but we're trying to get in the, you know, the big metropolitan cities like Austin, Texas for one, Nashville, Tennessee. We do a lot of business in Las Vegas. We do a lot of business in Phoenix, Scottsdale, Arizona. We do a lot of business in Scottsdale, Arizona, and Orlando. So just out of those cities, you know, we're gonna try to basically pick our business up what we develop in New Orleans, and we're just gonna drop it in another city.
Yeah.
And then we don't plan on going to too many cities, but like at least 2 or 3 more, I feel like we can do.
Yeah.
Over, you know, our lifespan.
No, I feel you definitely, though. And I don't mean to go a little too deep, but let's talk about your mom for a second and how, you know, losing her impacted and kind of lit a fire to do more, and just talk a little bit about that so that we could just be aware that, you know, everybody loses loved ones and how we use that as like a fuel to kind of drive the success.
So yeah, I just remember growing up, like everyone would just be like, man, you know, give up on him. Like, you know, he's gonna disappoint you, you know what I'm saying? Like he's, you know, somebody that's just defiant, you know. So like when my mom passed away, I just made a promise, like, you know, I'm gonna prove her right, you know what I'm saying? So that's just something that I always kept, like, man, you know, I'm gonna prove her right. You know, I'm not gonna give them what they want. I'm not gonna go to jail, you know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna get killed. You know, it's not that big. I'm gonna give her what she wanted because she gave me what I wanted. So, yeah, like, and you know, grief is something that is very serious, and it starts to drive in you that nobody can stop. You know what I'm saying?
That is real.
Yeah.
That's true, bro. Like, super true, though. Like I was saying, telling you off the record, like, my mom didn't know what Newtral Groundz was. She didn't know what Dr. Clips was. It was after that where I kind of really, you know what I'm saying, kind of turned up. So speak to the younger generation real quick, like the ones that may feel hopeless. The knuckleheads right now, you know, they feel like people telling them they ain't gonna be shit, et cetera, et cetera. Like, talk to them real quick. Let them know how you feel about the possibility of changing your ways and getting on a path to where you can do and make your family proud. Yeah,
so that's one of my biggest, and a lot of people say you shouldn't use that energy for like proving people wrong, but I feel like it's a great thing, a great tool to use, you know, proving people wrong, you know, who don't really believe in you. Because, yeah, like, I feel like it's a great tool because it's like, you never can judge a book by its cover. Mm-hmm. And so many people deal with so much that nobody knows. And that's why I was saying, when my mom passed away, I remember, well, it was like when she was sick. Mm-hmm. Now I remember going places and people were being so mean to me. They didn't know what I was going through. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? I was like at home, like bathing my mother, like, you know, like everything. And I'm going on in the world and it's like people honking their horn. People like, man, watch out. Like, you know, what you doing, stupid? Like, it's like, dang, you know what I'm saying? Like, you don't even know, like, at home, like, I'm about to lose somebody you probably have, you don't even cherish. Yeah. So it's like, but yeah, like, I use that energy and that fire to just prove people wrong, and prove my mind right. But I'm definitely at a place in my life right now where I'm trying to prove myself more than anyone. Just trying to prove to myself that I can do it.
Nah, facts.
Yeah.
Man, that's fine.
Yeah, because you'll reach some heights, like, you know, like the NASA deal is just like, you know, that was crazy, but it was like, I felt on top of the world, but now I'm getting back, well, you know, I'm still trying to still do more.
So let's talk about that for a second. I forgot. I'm glad you jogged my memory on that. Let's talk about the NASA deal. That's something that New Orleans East Black man, St. Augustine, you landed a NASA deal, bro. Like, what is up with that? Like,
I know, right? That's crazy. I just basically read a book on how to invest in real estate. It's called Real Estate Investing by Burton Transit. And real estate is not difficult. You just have to do all the steps that it take to, land a deal. And I was listening to this podcast, and it was like, your first deal, you damn near gonna be on the street to get that deal done. So that's basically what I did. Like, I did whatever I could to get this deal done. And the guy he was a St. Augustine alumni, but I remember the first day he called, I was sitting in my living room, you know what I'm saying, I was eating cereal, I think, watching TV, and he called, and he was like, yeah, this is the president with UAW of NASA. And, I called my sister. I'm like, yeah, man, they got this guy. He worked with NASA. He trying to, look at the office space. My sister, make sure you bring the gun. She thought he was going to kill me. She thought somebody was playing on the phone, bro. I swear, dog. So, but when I talked to him, I'm like, this dude not trying.
Legit,
you know what I'm saying? Yeah, but I had put a sign out, a handwritten sign with the number on it.
Yeah.
I put our, business number on it. And she thought it was so ugly. She was like, man, that sign look horrible. We could get another sign that's not going to get nobody. You know what I'm saying? But everybody was calling, bro. Everybody was calling. Everybody was like, man, we looking, they was calling, real, people. So he called. And when he said he was with NASA, this the type of thing saying, I'll prepare you for. So he yeah, if you want to show it to me right now, that'd be cool. I was sitting on my sofa, eating cereal, whatever.
Right.
I hopped up. I'm gonna go put a suit on. Off the gang, have no haircut. I did not care. I don't care about none of that. Man, I went to go put a suit on. I'm like, man, first impression is everything.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I ran here. I came, showed him the office, and he fell in love with it. He wouldn't leave me alone. You know what I'm saying? Just as bad I wanted to get a deal, he wanted to get the deal done too.
Right.
So yeah, that's kind of how that went. And that's why it was a great moment. I'm not gonna lie. It was to see how far we came, it's crazy.